Hello and welcome to our corner of the internet. My name is Maraghost and today we are going to be reviewing the Bellroy Sling. So real quick, let's just talk about some of the main features. On this bag, you've got a magnetic clasp. It's self-compressing. It has a soft-lined interior. And finally, it has a plastic key ring right here. All right, so why do I like this bag? Spoiler alert, I really like this bag. So one of the things about this bag, and not just this bag, but Bellroy in particular, with most of their products, is their materials are all ethically sourced or sustainable in some way. So if we take a look at their leather, right? So their leather is going to be, I believe, tanned under the leather working group protocols, which means that it's just going to be more sustainable. And then if you also look at their materials, I can't speak for all of their materials because I know they're not all the same. I believe this one is made out of recycled water bottles. But even if you look at their other fabrics, they're all going to be recycled. And I believe that's just really good. I hope that more brands start to do that, just to, really reduce our impact on the planet. But the reason why I like it is because it has uncompromising performance even with being sustainable. So you're not really giving up anything. You still get amazing leather and you still get fantastic fabrics. So yeah, I absolutely love what Bellroy are doing with that. Their materials are solid and it's good for the planet too. This bag is easy to remove. As I said before, this does have a magnetic clasp. And in my experience, this clasp has been actually very functional. Now, it does force you to wear the bag in one way, or it doesn't force you, but encourages you to use the bag in one way, and I will talk about that later. But it's very practical. It just snaps on, and I've never had any issues with this coming undone because it needs to be pushed in. So unless you have slack, there really shouldn't be any issue with this coming out, because as long as the pressure is being pulled away, the hooks are kind of just, stay locked, I suppose. But yeah, so it's really easy to remove and put back on. So like if I'm going in a car or if I'm sitting down at my table at a restaurant, it's super easy to take off, and I really like that about this bag. This bag does stay very slim too, which is a good thing. I like it because the way that this bag is built is it has a lot of capacity for a sling, in my opinion. It's got a lot of capacity, but that capacity is kind of cinched down through this self-compressing system that they've got here, which is actually really innovative. I haven't seen many companies do that before, and it's like a pretty unique feature that I haven't seen on any other bags. But yeah, I just think it's super cool because it gives it so much capacity. I think this is a 7-liter sling, and it gives it so much capacity while also allowing it to stay slim against your body by compressing itself down. So another really cool thing that Bellroy has done with this bag. So this is going to be subjective, but in my opinion, this bag is super stylish. I like this because you can kind of dress it up a little bit, but you can also dress it down. I would definitely not wear this with anything too formal, but I believe you might even be able to get away with business casual, maybe. But like that just goes to show you, this bag is a very stylish bag, and I think it can be dressed up a lot, and it's also really nice with some casual outfits. Maybe you're wearing a shirt sleeve, button-up shirt, or really just anything. It has a very, I feel like this bag looks really good in the summer. But yeah, we're talking about looks. It doesn't really get into the functionality of the bag, but it is important to note that this bag does look very stylish, in my opinion. That's subjective. They do have a lot of other colors too. I believe you can get it in red and blue, maybe even green. I'm not sure. I'd have to check, but yeah, You do have other colors other than this gray one. I just typically stick to gray and black because they're very neutral and they look good with a lot of my outfits. Okay, so this strap feels sensational. It's made out of like just a regular seatbelt type nylon webbing thing. And oh my gosh, it feels great. It's just got that really silky, smooth seatbelt feel. It's very strong. And it performs really well. It's like, it has a lot of strength, but it also is very flexible or supple, I guess. I don't really know how else to describe it. It's very flexible and soft, but it's also really strong. And I really like this material that they're using here. It's just like a seatbelt. And it looks good too because, as you can see, it kind of has that sheen in the light, which again, you know, most people might not notice that. To me, though, like as a bag nerd, like just seeing that kind of shininess just looks really cool in my opinion. But looks aside, it's very soft while also being very strong and flexible too. So yeah, this strap just feels sensational. It's really nice. Another thing is when you're rotating it, so like when you're moving the bag up to kind of access it, this fabric really glides against your clothes and makes that experience super easy. So that's just another key thing to keep in mind. I really like what they've done with the straps here. So another thing, and one of the things I look for in bags whenever I buy them, is the lining here is really good. And when I say good, I'm literally just talking about the color. A lot of bags will choose to use like a black or really dark liner that makes it hard to see inside. Bellroy does not do that in this case, however. If you look inside of this right here, you can see that it has this bright blue lining that makes it super easy to see inside. And I think that's just something a lot of companies overlook. Is just that it's so important to actually be able to see inside the bag and access it. This doesn't have that blue lining, but it's this light gray, and it's still kind of easy to see. I've just got these lights coming in that are casting shadows, but under normal conditions, it's really easy to see inside of here. So yeah, another thing that most companies don't really do, I guess. I know a lot of companies do that. It's just not enough to, in my opinion. So on the topic of the lining, I also want to talk about the material. Now, I don't know what material exactly they use, but I can say that it does feel good. Another thing, a lot of companies will really cheap out on the lining on a bag. And I'm not going to say that the lining is one of the most, well, I will say the lining is one of the most important parts. What I won't say is it's the most important part, but it's really important to have good, durable lining that feels good because that's where your hands are going to be, you know, touching and you're going to feel the lining when you're reaching inside the bag and, you know, your items are going to be scratching it and whatever. So it's like, it's just really important to have a good, durable lining that also feels good, feels nice and tactile. A lot of companies will just use like this cheap lining and it just won't feel good. And you know, Bellroy really avoids that here. They do a good job of having a good liner. I will say it's not great. Like, let me rephrase that. It's not the greatest liner that I've ever used. If I look at bags like the nutsack bags, I think I've done a video on that a long time ago. But yeah, their company is called Nutsack. If you look at the Nutsack bags, the liner on there is phenomenal. Um, what other companies are using good liner? Ooh, another one. The Day Owl backpack. The Day Owl backpack actually has also a really good lining that feels similar to Bellroy's. I do have a review of that coming soon. Hopefully, I'm not going to make any promises, but it should be soon. I'm super excited because I love that bag. I'm not sure if it's going to replace the rake that I've been using, the Mission Workshop rake, but it's a contender. It's a really good. But yeah, I know I kind of talked about liner for a long time, but it's just an important thing that a lot of companies overlook or cheap out on. Liner is important. This has good liner. It's awesome. Another thing to mention, I don't think enough people really take note of this, but the stitching on this bag is really good. There's like no errors. I don't know if they do this by hand, but the stitching is really good. And it's also reinforced in the areas where there's like tension, so It's like reinforced stitching where this handle or where the strap kind of connects and all that stuff. So they just paid a lot of attention, and there's just Bellroy is a quality bag company, and their stitching is a testament to that. Even look at their zipper pulls. You know, their zipper pulls have good stitching, or I don't even sewing, whatever. But yeah, it's just that's throughout the bag, and it just contributes to a more cohesive product, a more well designed product, and maybe not well designed, more well made. Not to say this isn't well designed. I'm just saying that I feel like well made is more of a better word to use to describe how the stitching kind of makes you feel about the bag. Yeah, stitching is good. All right, so now the things that I don't like. There's not that much here. One thing that I will say is I was talking about the clasp here earlier. So this clasp is going to force you to wear the bag so that you put your left shoulder through. Does that make sense? So if you try to do it the other way, the clasp is going to be up here, and it's going to be hard to take it off if you want to use the clasp to take it off. Um, I feel like there's something Bellroy could have done to kind of remedy that. But you know, it's not a big deal. I got used to it within like a few days of using the bag. By the way, I got this bag last year. But yeah, it's just something to note. It is going to make you carry in a different way than you normally do. I'm not used to carrying like this, at least for a sling. But yeah, it's just something that you got to get used to using this bag. And another thing, while we're on the subject of the clasp, is I would be willing to pay more money if this clasp was made out of all metal. Maybe if it was like aluminum or something. Not that this plastic in particular feels cheap. It's just that I would rather have the peace of mind and the longevity of metal instead of plastic. Now, this isn't as much of a problem because this is a light bag, so there's not going to be as much of a load. There's not going to be as much tension. But at the same time, I feel like having a metal clip here would contribute to the premium feeling of the bag. All right, so let's also get into the keyring. So, all right, so let's get into the keyring. So this keyring actually feels quite lacking compared to the rest of the bag and how well it's made. In use, I will say in use, the ring has done exactly what it needs to do. It does it well. This little hole that's here allows you to take your keys out and put them in easily, and because it's plastic, it's easy to do that. There's a little bit of a flex that metal wouldn't really have. However, even though this feels like the same plastic that's on the clasp, this just doesn't feel like it's gonna last as long. Another thing is I would rather it be a clip instead of a ring. This is unique. This is innovative. I haven't seen any other company do this. I'm sure someone has, but I haven't seen many companies doing this where they have just like a hole where it's literally just, nothing really keeping it from opening except the structure of the plastic. I guess I don't know how to explain that. But it does its job. It's just I really wish that it was a metal clip instead of a plastic ring like this. So yeah, again, another thing I would be willing to pay more for. I would be willing to pay more to have this clip be, metal or something. And on the same note, I feel like this bag, and again, I would pay more for this. I believe this bag is like $100. Like, what if this was a fidlock? I think that would be really cool if this was a fidlock instead of what it is, because one, I feel like it'd be more secure, but also fidlocks have a really nice look to it. The only thing about that is I don't think that it would really mesh well with Bellroy's like classic, very, I don't know how to describe it other than classic and modern. Yeah, I feel like having a fidlock would make it look more technical, But heck, even if you look at like Trek, where their bags, what they do is they have like a two I guess rectangular rings where you put the ring inside the other one, and then it's just really the tension that keeps it together. That would be better in my opinion than just this. Again, this part isn't that bad. It's just I feel like they could have done something else, and maybe they do on the premium edition because there is a premium edition of this bag. But those are just some suggestions. I really think a fidlock would be really cool here. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and take you through the pockets of this bag, just so you can kind of know what it's like to carry. So you've got two zippers here, so that means you can have it zipped this way or you can have it zipped this way. It's up to you. But this is going to be the main compartment right here. Inside of the main compartment, there is a soft lining, like I said earlier. And in here, I just keep AirPods. And it's really soft. You can put your phone in there or whatever. And then I've also got in the main compartment, this is the only thing I have in the main compartment. It is going to be a notebook. This is a standard A5 or A6 notebook. It's just going to be a Leuchtturm 1917. Yeah. Just a very basic popular notebook. This fits in the main compartment. So notebook, so we've got AirPods, a notebook, and then we've also got my keys on the key loop. So boom, keys. And then in here, I've just got, so this is just a quick access pocket with less dimension than the main compartment. And in here, I just have a pocket organizer with just my knife, my pen, my flashlight, and my notebook, my smaller notebook. I normally keep that in my pocket. And then I've just got my wallet right here. So this is a smaller, shallower pocket with less dimension. This is the main compartment with a lot of dimension. And then you've also got the flat pocket right here that you can put soft stuff in. So yeah, that is the Bellroy Sling. I absolutely love that bag. I highly recommend it. It's very classy. If you want to look at other bags, maybe if you're into more of a technical look, you can try the Code of Bell Sling. I would watch some reviews on it because I personally haven't used it myself. I just know that it's a very popular sling. So if you want something more technical, maybe more urban, maybe go for that. Definitely watch some reviews on that. As for the Bellroy Sling, highly recommend it if you want to. Go for it. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, please leave a like. I would really appreciate it. And also consider subscribing if this helped you and you like me. I would like that, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I really appreciate it. I do have another review coming in soon. This one is going to be for the Day Owl backpack, which I have been using for about the past week, a little less than a week. Not a review, my bad. I think I said review. More like impressions. I'm going to talk you through the pockets and what I think about the bag and the company. But yeah, that will be coming soon. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please like, please subscribe if you really like the video. And thank you for watching. I'm Mara Ghost, and I'll haunt you tomorrow. Bye-bye.